Hey, what's up everyone? PersNikity here, moving on with the Alien Isolation Nightmare difficulty walkthrough, and we're moving on to Chapter 15, or Mission 15. So, here's the good news. At this point, I have beaten the game. I've finished on Nightmare difficulty, so now I have a full perspective on what lies ahead, and I can honestly say that I would agree that Mission 14 was the hardest mission in the game. So, if you made it through that, you're good. You're going to be able to make it through the rest of the game. However, Mission 17 is going to be slightly challenging, but the good news is Mission 15 is really easy. Mission 16 is pretty simple, so it's really only Mission 17 that you have left to worry about. And your number one goal here, your number one goal is going to be to conserve flamethrower fuel. You're going to want to stealth through as much of this as you can, and you're going to want to use your flamethrower fuel almost never. Now, if it's an emergency and you have to use it, if there's a facehugger approaching you or if there's an alien, then sure, you can use it. But I'm going to let you know right now, you're going to want to try to do this as stealthy as possible to conserve all flamethrower fuel for Mission 17, or for Mission 17, but mostly for Mission 18, because in Mission 18, just to look ahead, there's going to be a lot of facehuggers, and you're going to need your flamethrower fuel for them. Alright, so our first goal here, this level is kind of divided into two halves. The first half is gameplay, the second half is more story-related stuff. So the first half here is all you have to worry about, and you should remember this location. This is the medical facility. We've been here already way back in, what was it, Mission 10, Mission 5? I can't even remember, it's been so long. But you should recognize this area, and of course that helps because since you don't have a map, you're going to need to remember it. Now, you're going to see here, there's going to be an android when I turn this corner. I'm not even going to pay attention to the android. I'm just going to stand up and I'm going to walk away from him. If you walk, you still can be faster than the androids. So watch this. I'm going to stand up and I'm just going to walk right past this android. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to sprint. I'm not going to crouch. I'm just going to walk. And if you do it quietly enough, the alien will not come down. So you're going to see here, I actually end up getting through this whole section without the alien ever approaching me. So you're going to follow this exact path that I'm taking here. Go out this door, swing a right. One thing you do want to do is make sure you pay attention to the vents overhead. Make sure that there's no saliva dripping down from the vents because the alien can still grab you from there. But you can see here, as long as I don't shoot my gun, as long as I don't hit the android, as long as I don't start sprinting, you can get through this part without the alien ever showing up. Now, as for the reason, I don't know why I have my flare out. I don't really need that. But you're going to go over here and get the security access tuner upgrade. And that's going to let you open this door in the other corner. Now I'm just checking because on my first playthrough, the alien and the android both came into this room. But you can see that at a walking pace, we were able to basically outrun the android. So the android's no longer a threat. And because we did that so quietly, the alien is not a threat. And that's a really useful thing, you know, as long as you know the layout, and because we've been here before, I did know the layout, if you just go through and don't panic, you can do a lot of these sections without the alien ever appearing. Now, that being said, Nightmare difficulty, from my experience, has a tendency to be pretty inconsistent. So right there, you saw that the alien never even showed up. And believe it or not, that was on my first try. But when I played this on normal, the alien showed up sometimes just because. So the game tends to be very inconsistent. So even if you do exactly what I did there, and even if the alien does show up, you can either, you can still just sneak around the alien. It's not that hard to do. Or you can just restart the checkpoint, because remember, that area happened right at the beginning of the level, so restarting the checkpoint's not going to hurt you or anything. And the number one thing, like I said, is just you want to conserve as much flamethrower ammo as you can. So after Mission 14, I finished with, I think, 280 units of fuel. That's pretty good. That's a good amount, and that comes from conserving as much as I could throughout this game. So you want to shoot for somewhere around there. I'd say somewhere around 250 to 300 is a good amount of flamethrower fuel to have. And of course, if you don't have that much, you're not screwed. It's just your time's going to be a bit harder. But anyway, so now we are on the Anisadora. This is the ship that, from the flashback in Mission 9, this is the ship that landed on the planet with the alien, and it's the ship responsible for bringing the alien to the Sevastopol station. So we are on this ship. Right now we're just kind of exploring, but we're going to end up running into Marlowe, who, remember, was one of the crew on this ship, and we actually talked to him earlier in the game, just to give you a bit of story recap. Now, the good news about the Anisadora is all you have to worry about here is one face hugger. There are no aliens to worry about. There are no humans that are going to shoot you. All you have to do is be ready for one facehugger. And it's always going to come at you at the same location. So there's nothing to worry about in terms of surprises. And one thing that I learned that I learned after this chapter, but it turns out you can kill facehuggers with your wrench instead of the flamethrower. You can usually only do it if there's one facehugger at a time, because if you do it, like if two facehuggers are running at you and you try to hit one with a wrench, it's just going to be too slow and the other one's going to jump on you. But if there's only one facehugger, you can actually kill it with the wrench, and that's very useful because that will save you flamethrower fuel. And you know, you might be saying, like, on Nightmare mode, you can just barely press the flamethrower and you can kill a facehugger with about 30 units of flame. So you might be saying, oh, okay, I'm not going to risk that just to save 30 units, but trust me, every unit counts. If you can save 30 units here and there, you know, if you can kill 3 facehuggers with your wrench, that's already 90 units of flame. And that's best case scenario. Sometimes it takes even more flame, so you could potentially end up saving yourself a couple hundred units of flame just by killing facehuggers with your wrench. So that's a very useful thing to know moving forward, especially in Chapter 18. You're going to see me use that strategy quite a bit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about chapters that are yet to come. Right now, we just have to deal with Chapter 15. And like I said, this level is kind of split into 2 halves. The first half was gameplay, where you saw that I was sneaking through the medical facility, dodging the android. And now this half is really just kind of story related. So you're going to see a cutscene, which is pretty cool, and then you're going to see some of the story unfold in terms of what Marlowe's up to. So it gets pretty cool. It's a good game. Mission 16 is going to be slightly more challenging, but not impossible, especially if you, hopefully if you use my strategy, you'll be able to get through it relatively easily. But yeah, things are really winding down. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the game. Like I said, I have officially beaten this game. I've officially beaten the game, and so that's exciting. Anyway, you could save your game here if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and skip it because I don't find it necessary. Now get your flamethrower ready, because this is where the facehugger is going to approach from behind these boxes. So you see again right here, I decided to take him out with my flamethrower, but that's because I hadn't yet learned that you can kill a facehugger with your wrench. So if you want to save some units of flame, go ahead and just kill that guy with your wrench. Remember, you can really only do that if there's one facehugger at a time, and in this case, there is only one facehugger. That's the only threat. That's the only threat you have to worry about for the rest of the level. From here on out, it's just a matter of playing the game. There's no more threats in this chapter. So go ahead and enjoy the break, because from here on out, the game is going to, we're going to kind of start that final countdown sequence where, you know, we're getting close to the end of the game, so things get a bit more stressful. You'll see what I mean, of course, in future missions. But anyway, I keep getting ahead of myself. I tend to do that during levels like this, when there's no like immediate threat or anything. But you can go ahead and search these rooms. In fact, right here, I think there is a piece of flamethrower fuel. So right there, yeah, 25 units. That's going to be your most valuable resource moving forward, that and the shotgun shells. So try to conserve those as much as possible. Hopefully you have a good amount. If you've been following this walkthrough, you should, because I've pretty much refrained from using all my weapons for most of the game. Not all of the game, but most of the game. I'm actually pretty proud of the way this walkthrough turned out. I'm hoping it'll help a lot of people. I'm a little sad that I'm kind of late to the party. You know, I'm making this walkthrough in 2017 and the game came out in 2014. But that's okay. As long as it helps just one person, that's cool enough for me. Now again, you can save your game right here. I did it just to be safe, but you don't really have to, because you are going to get an autosave. Autosaves are pretty rare in this game, but you will get one coming up. So you can save your game just to be safe, but just know that it's not fully necessary. Anyway, you're going to run into this room here, and this is where things really go down. So go ahead and activate this computer terminal and witness a pretty cool cutscene featuring a beloved Alien franchise character.
Added report. Personal message. This is for my daughter. Hi, Amanda. I'm recording this for you. my sweetheart. And I hope you get to hear it one day. You see, I got into trouble. My ship, there was an accident, sweetheart, and, we found an alien creature. It was very dangerous. And the only way we could stop it was to destroy the ship. I'm okay. I'm stuck on this lifeboat, long way out. But we had to destroy the ship. We had to destroy the Nostromo. We just couldn't risk bringing that thing home with us. I needed to protect you. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. I love you, sweetheart.
Oh my God.
Now you understand. And then we'll overload the fusion reactor.
That'll turn the reactor into a goddamn nuke. You'll destroy the ship and the station.
It'll annihilate every trace of that creature. Ripley, it's the only way. I can't let it live. And I'm not letting the company have it, or they'll just start the whole thing over again.
Listen to me! We don't have to do this!
Stop! Stop it, Marlowe!
Marlowe, please.
You heard what your mother did. She understood. If she was here, she'd be helping me. You think she would want company suits knowing the zip code of that creature? No one must know. There are still people alive on the station. Marlowe! Foster's not. She was my wife. I loved her. And I killed her. I think it was too late.
Alright, so after all that unfolds, I wanted to include the Marlowe sequence in there, but what's going to happen is Taylor's going to go to this console over here, and we're going to have to do 3 things in here, and you do have to do them quickly. If you take too long, the ship will explode, and you'll essentially die, and you'll fail the mission. Now, right here, you are going to get an autosave, so even if you are too slow, you'll get the checkpoint right here, so that's at least something to look forward to. So the first thing you got to do is simply turn on this generator switch right here. So go ahead and crank that 3 times. Good to go. Now you're going to move over to the next little thing, which is going to be this maintenance terminal. And what you have to do for each of these is you just kind of have to wait for Taylor to do something on her end, and then you can do it on this end. So just wait here with your screen here, and then once you get the command prompt, go ahead and do, what you've been doing this entire game, and go ahead and just hack the system. This one is kind of hard. You only get 10 seconds to do, I think, 5 different symbols. But at this point, you should be pretty used to this mechanic, so it's no problem. So go ahead and do that. And then finally, this one you can do right away. Just turn to your right and crank this switch right here. And then there you go. That's all you have to do. And assuming you do it in a short enough time, you have nothing to worry about. If you take maybe 1 or 2 minutes, then like I said, the ship will explode and you'll die. But it's okay because, like I said, you get the autosave right before all of this happens, so that you don't have to go through all those long cutscenes again or anything like that. And speaking of that cutscene, that was really cool. I'm pretty sure that they actually got Sigourney Weaver, or Sigourney Weaver. I can never remember how to pronounce her name. I think it's Sigourney Weaver. I think she's the one that actually voiced Ellen Ripley in that cutscene. So that was really cool. I think she's really cool. I think she's like the queen of sci-fi, people call her, and it's really cool when actors are loyal to the franchises that they've been a part of, and the fact that she, returned to this game to do that dialogue, if that was actually her. And I think she even returned to the game for the survivor mode or something like that. Either way, it's really cool. She's a great person. Anyway, so now we just have to escape the ship, and this is a very kind of Call of Duty-esque moment. You can see it's just all up in your face action and explosions. Maybe Michael Bay directed this little part of the game, who knows. it's pretty simple. There's only one true path you can take. It's just the path that is not covered in flames and explosions. So you shouldn't have much of a hard time navigating through this ship backwards. But anyway, you're just going to go ahead and follow the right path, and you're going to make your way back to the ambulance bay, and then you're going to take off back to the Sevastopol station, and we are going to make our way onto mission 16, which, like I said, is slightly challenging, but definitely not impossible. And then hopefully if my strategies help you, it'll be even simpler. Anyway, that's it for mission 15, guys. We're one step closer to beating this game on Nightmare Mode. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. Go ahead and run down here, get into the ambulance, and that's it. I will see you in mission 16.